The great thing about creating my own software is that I can add the kind of features that I would love to have. And this situation is no different than when I created the metronome. So let's check it out. I open it up. It's pretty self-explanatory. Here's the tempo. Here's the time signature. Here's a clock for deciding how long to practice something for, or when dinner time is. You've got your play and stop buttons here. You have tab BPM, volume control, transparency control. You have a set of tools here called the splitter, bass movement, chord player, random tempo, and you have another tool selection here called click on 1 and click on 2 and 4. You can move it around here. You can move it to anywhere on the desktop to make sure that it doesn't obscure something, or if it does obscure something, you can use transparency to see through it. You also have something here called record control, and I'll show you that at the very end. Alright, so changing the time signature, you just hover over the notes and use your up and down arrow keys to change it. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this to 5/4. Actually 5/8. Now this tempo here is designed for quarter notes. So if I play 5/8, it's going to go twice as fast. So let's press space bar or play and stop. I'm going to use space bar to do that. Okay, if I change this back to 4/4, you can see that it plays half as fast because this is for quarter notes. You can also get the tempo of a song that you're playing along with just by clicking on this. For example, if you had a song that went dum ke, dum dum ke, dum ke. What do you know? It turned out to be 80 beats per minute. So basically these controls here are very self-explanatory. Let's check out these tools here. We're going to first look at the splitter control. When I press activate, it's going to split this 100 into 2 beats per click. So let's play it without it. And now we activate. Now this is interesting because it shows you that there's 3 something notes a second. What about if we speed this up? Just hover over it, use the arrow keys, and do 5 notes a second, and we'll slow the tempo down to 80. We'll press space to start it. Without it. You can get used to hearing what groupings of notes sound like, and of course the more clearer an idea of what something sounds like, the more likely it is to nail it. For beginners, I would suggest 2s, 3s, 4s and 6s. For more advanced, I would suggest 5s, 7s, maybe 9s and even 11. So have fun with that. You can also have it over the bar as well. Hours of fun. So let's move to the next thing, which is bass movement. This will take you through every single key in the chromatic scale, and you've got a variety of different drills here. You've got things like circle of fourths, circle of fifths, chromatic up, chromatic down, minor thirds up. This is a note that will play, this is a note that will be, and this is a note that has been. And you can get it to change every bar, every 2 bars, every 4 bars, every 8 bars. We're going to just use it to change every bar, and I'll speed it up to 120. Activate. So you can see how that works, and that is great for practicing things like licks, comping, anything that you want to practice over 12 keys. Chord player, now this will play basically a drone chord, so you can think up licks that go over that chord, or you're comping, pretty much anything you can think of. So let's choose D7, press spacebar, activate. Now you can see that it actually played a variety of different voicings. just to break up the monotony. So yeah, have fun with that. That's a great tool. I use that for making lots of licks, so very useful. The last thing here is random tempo, and this will basically choose, if you press the key R, it'll choose a note between the lowest tempo here and the highest tempo, and of course these can be changed by hovering over them and using the up and down arrow key on your keyboard. So if I press R, oh, it's got 60, 93, 87, 64, 86, 96. Once you learn something in a tempo, be able to play it in a different tempo, because situations will require different tempos. So this enables you to be able to play your idea in any situation. Alright, so that's that. The next thing is a very simple control, but basically usually you hear the one click. It's got a different sound. So if I just make this 100. Now sometimes you don't want to wait around for the one to come around before you start your lick. So by pressing C or clicking on this, we'll make every click the same sound. The second tool here is click on 2 and 4 only. Now this is very big in music schools. It really develops your sense of time, because you have to try and kind of judge where the 1 and the 3 are. It'll sound on the 2 and the 4, so it gives you enough time to be able to get that sense of playing something in time with itself, as well as making sure that the notes that fall on the 2 and the 4 actually fall on the click. So it's a very, very good system for developing good time. And when I activate this, you'll hear it. Now the way to count this is, especially for you rock players, just think of it as a 2 and the 4, like a snare drum in a basic rock beat, like doom cat, doom cat. So that cat sound is the 2 and the 4. So if I press space, this is how I count it: 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So basically on the 2 and the 4 it's kind of like a snare drum, so treat it like a snare drum. Yeah, so that's a very good tool. Now the last thing I want to talk about is the record control. Now unfortunately, because of the limitations of my screen recording software, if I activate this, it'll stop my screen capture software. So I just need to describe what's going to happen. First of all, you can see that when I'm talking, this level goes up and down. So that's kind of like your record level, so you can know if you're clipping or not. This red button you'd press on, that means it's armed. So whenever I press space or stop, when I press space, it's going to start recording, and when I press stop, it'll stop recording, and then it'll generate a waveform here, and then by pressing H you can hear it back. You can also save it to the desktop, and you can speed it up and slow it down. You can speed it up to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you played your certain thing at a faster tempo, or you can slow it down to make sure that your articulation is clear. You've also got a variety of different import sources here. So basically that's the record control, and it's very, very cool, because even though we practice with a metronome, sometimes it's good to hear what we sound like with the metronome to make sure that we are actually sounding good. Alright, so that's pretty much the metronome. It's very, very cool. I like it a lot, and it'll probably be one of the things you're using most when you use Guitar Sight Reader Toolbox. So enjoy the metronome, and over and out.